friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lisa, and today we are going to do another episode of Homeschool Diaries. So what I'm going to do is talk about what's been going on in our homeschool recently. There are a few topics that I want to go ahead and cover, and I've gotten some footage for you guys over the past couple of weeks. So throughout my conversation with you guys here, I'll be able to sprinkle in a few clips that I was able to snag while just living life and going through the motions and, just trying to create this atmosphere of peace and love and learning and all the things, right? All the things. And so let me first off start by talking about what's been going on in homeschool. And I will save my self-care for the end of the video to talk about what I've been doing to really take care of myself. And so as far as homeschool is concerned, we have started homeschool. We started homeschool for our younger two. So my 5-year-old and my 6-year-old have started. And the way in which I started homeschool with them worked out extremely well, better than I anticipated, let me say, because life happens and life is going to happen. And when life happens, we need to think rationally, think realistically and logically to continue to move through. And life has been happening. Life has been happening for me for a little while now. And it's been a challenge. This is a little challenging because I'm trying to remember to bring you guys along with me. So bear with me. I'm doing my best. And if I close the window, you guys will get a better view. But we really like the sun, so we're going to leave that open. This is my planner here. I'm going to block the sun for a second. There we go. So this is my planner that I'm using. And I have her name on the side here. And then I'm just writing what we're doing, handwriting, what pages she's completing. And then I'll write what book we used in here as well. So that's what I'm doing while she is working on her stuff. You're done? Okay, let me close the window. Very good job. So I'm going to take this here off. And I'm going to put this right here so that I know that's where we stopped at, and she'll know tomorrow where to get started at. All right, so we worked on our backward circles. Now you're going to work on your forward circles. So let's see you do your forward circles. To overcome a lot of things, but I feel like God prepared me for this season. And so I was able to stick with my plan that I had to get started on school. I did not school as many days as I'd hoped to, but we still started. And because I spent so much time at the end of the year building a solid foundation, we thrived, okay? These first 2 weeks have been amazing. The kids have retained a lot of information because while we do take a short break, we pretty much are year-round homeschoolers because we only take a few weeks off. Now, we might take more breaks out throughout the year, but overall, because we didn't take as long of a break, we're thriving, and it feels really good. It feels really good. I feel like I have my feet on solid ground when it comes to their education. Now, my high schooler, that's going to be a whole nother situation, but I am taking the wins where I find them. And I found some wins here, and I want to talk about them with you because while we know that homeschool is not nor will ever be perfect, we still can discuss the beauty in it. And so my plan for homeschooling this year was to take like a staggered approach where I drop in one kid and then get them all settled and then drop in the next kid and then get that kid settled and then work with both of them together so that I can get myself settled down with my routine, my flow of getting both of them started. And then once we get into our flow and our rhythm and we're good to go, take a very small break and then focus on adding in my teenager who is a freshman this year. And I'm nervous, I have to say, I'm nervous, but then add him in. And then once we are good to go, then add in the other two. And now my goal, my hope, my wish,
my prayer is that we fly, and we listen to our bodies and we take breaks as needed, but not to over plan anything. The biggest plan that I felt like I needed this year was that takeoff. About it, when you take a trip, or if you've ever been in an airplane, there's a lot of preparation that goes into the actual takeoff. But once you're in the air, you cruise. You cruise until it's time to land. And the way that I'm thinking about this school year is I was making sure that I had everything. My bags were packed. And I'm using air quotes. My bags were packed as far as getting ready for takeoff. And takeoff meaning taking off this school year. And we did. And it feels extremely, extremely good.
Which food does the puppy like the best?
My food.
He eats the food that he likes the best first. So what does he like the best? Wet food or dry food? Wet food? Yeah. What does Layla eat first? If you give her a can of chicken, that's wet food. Or if you give her the food that's in there, the dry food, which one does she eat first?
When you give her chicken, she eats food.
Wet food first. Okay, so...
And Bella eats dry food.
Bella eats wet food first. Most dogs like wet food first because it's so yummy. It's super easy, as you can see. Super quick, super easy. Most of like her science, and she learns a lot in geography, like about the maps and stuff like that. But for science, the book is nice to have, but I think that we learn more about science by reading and doing things, doing little projects and stuff. So that's where I'll add in like reading books and stuff like that. I know you didn't. It's her cutting skills, which is good. And it's nice to give them one-on-one attention. That's one of the perks, I would say, of homeschool. And I feel like when it comes to controlling the environment and controlling like the atmosphere in your house, it's easier to control when you're working with one kid and your other kids are trained to work independently, to do stuff by themselves. So although they have each other, so Jason and Savannah have each other to play with, we oftentimes have them play by themselves so that they can learn how to work independently, so that they can learn how to be without each other. And so Jace has come down here because he wants to just get started on school, but we're not starting school this week for him. Like, I knew he would want to start school because it's, you know, that's just how they are. If they see one kid doing something, they want to, but she needs this time is set aside for her so he can go play, and he can be bored or, you know, do whatever. He can figure it out. It's okay for them to be bored and figure out something to do. You don't have to figure out how you're going to occupy every single moment in time. And I'm not in the season anymore where I have little bitty babies, where I have like a where I have a 1-year-old or 2-year-old or 3-year-olds or younger. I don't have that. But if I had those, I've been in that stage before, and I've been in that stage of her being the baby and then me trying to homeschool Jay. So I understand how difficult it is, and I still encourage you to allow your baby to play independently, maybe close by, but independently, and let them play with something that they normally wouldn't be able to play with. She chose this Pete the Cat Goes Camping. She wants to read this giraffes book. So this will be like a science book. And then she chose biscuits.
Something else that I feel like I did really well was, not only did I plan off my year really well, I only planned the rest of this year. So I don't have any plans for next year. I felt like last year I overplanned. I tried to plan the whole year out at once, and that it just didn't work for me. It didn't work out in my favor because life just didn't work out like that. Things didn't line up, and I find it to be easier to plan the first half of the year first and then plan the end of the year. And to make that, to kind of dwindle that down even more into a more bite-sized piece, I am taking the first 9 weeks and focusing on that to make sure that after 9 weeks, we still love our curriculum, We are checking in and making sure that we are getting done the things that we need to get done. I am making sure that they are enjoying their courses, they are enjoying their studies. It's just like a reset button. So I want to reset my homeschool every 9 weeks. That's my goal. And so we are on our way. We're on our way. So let's talk about some things that have been taking place in these last few weeks of getting started. So this is week 3 for us. And the first week, I got school done with Savannah. I wanted to do 5 days. We got 3 days done. The next week was school with Jace. I wanted to do 5 days. We got 2 days done. This week, we have 2 days done, and we are halfway through the week. So it looks like we're going to get 4 days done this week, and we're still doing great. The kids have learned so much already, and I'm so excited. Not only are they learning, they're also retaining information. And what I did was I added in a couple subjects a day, a couple new subjects a day. So there were things that they were already used to doing because of how we worked everything out at the end of the year. So the kids are comfortable doing, I'm going to go through each one of them. So Savannah is comfortable doing her English, her phonics, her handwriting, her science, and those are the 4 subjects that we've really been focusing on these past 3 weeks, just those. Jace is very comfortable doing his handwriting, his reading, his English and writing, science. We've done geography. We also did geography for Savannah. Geography and his math, his Horizons math. That's what we focused on in their first weeks of school. This week, we have both of them, and I added in for both of them, I added in their Saxon math because although they're at 2 different grade levels, Jace is at level 2 and Savannah is at level 1. They really can be taught together. They're just doing a little bit of, Jace is just doing a little bit more than Savannah is doing. His understanding, we're taking his to another level, but it's pretty much the same thing. So we have our morning meetings, and luckily, everything lines up really well. So I'm keeping them on the same pace for the most part in math. And if I see that one child is ready to move on, then I'm just going to continue them. I'm not going to hold anybody back. We're just going to continue to move on. So it's been working out really well, having them side by side working on math, even though they're at different levels. Something else that we're going to be adding in at the end of this week is we're going to be taking the science that we're doing, our science units that we're doing. We have science, 180 days of science is what we have, as well as Evan Moore science. We're going to be setting those aside, and we're going to be focusing on birds. We're going to start a bird unit the end of this week, and I'm just getting everything printed. It's something like a last minute thing that I decided to do because I wasn't happy with how things were working out with science with the 2 books that we were using. I felt like they were interested in science in different ways other than just the basics in those science books. And so I decided that we're going to use Gather Round. And so I've been printing off our Gather Round things, and we're going to do the bird study for North America. I am so excited to dive into this unit. I actually am going to look and see if there is a Draw Right Now unit on with birds. If there is, I will be ordering it. We've also been doing Draw Right Now as well together. That's a subject we've been doing together. They've been doing, working on their dogs, drawing dogs. And it's been really fun. And you guys, I'm just enjoying it. I am just enjoying this process. I have removed all the pressures from the world, and I put my phone away, and it's just me and my babies getting their work done. And they're enjoying it. I am enjoying it. There's no set expectation for them. Everything is familiar because we've been doing it for a little bit, and it feels really good. So that's what we've been doing for school. I have had a notepad on the side of me, and I've been writing down what subjects for each kid line up well so that I can work with the other kids. So I've been writing down, okay, so I'm going to start off handwriting with both of them. One kid will get done before the other kid. The kid that gets done the fastest, which is my older kid. So Jace and Savannah start handwriting together. Jace is always done first. So once Jace is completed with his handwriting, he's going to move into art. Once Savannah is, and art's going to take him a little while. So once Savannah has completed her handwriting, her and I are going to work on phonics. Once she's done with her phonics, she will move on to art, and Jace will get started on his first math book, which is Horizons. Once Jace is done with Horizons and Savannah is done with her art work of her drawing, then we will move into Saxon, and it usually works out really well. If for some reason one kid is done before the other one, that is when I will pull out my extra books like Evan Moore and 180 Days of Science or Spelling. Okay, so that is what I've been doing. It's been working out extremely well. It's nice to have those workbooks because it keeps the kids busy, and it's things that they're familiar with, because we tried those books already at the end of our school year, and so they're familiar with them. They can get those done usually on their own independently, so it works really well. Other things that have been going really well for us is, yes, I have been keeping up with my cleaning challenge that I challenged you guys to do for 21 days. August 2nd is coming up, and I have been doing really well. Not perfect. I have not been, there has been days when I've went to bed and I had dishes in my sink, but I have called on help from the others in the house. So if I have fallen short, I have asked for help so that we can still get things done. And I encourage you to do the same thing. If there are people in your house that can help out, let them help. Encourage them to help. Tell them to help. Delegate. That's been working really well. So my downstairs area has been fairly clean and has been readily available for pop-ups if they should arise. I don't like pop-ups. I'm not a fan of pop-ups, but if they happen, we are prepared. The house is prepared. After the 21 days, I'm going to start working on upstairs, making sure that we can all just be held more accountable and be more disciplined with making sure that we are maintaining our individual spaces and working together as a team, because in order to keep this house running and afloat, we all have to work together as a team, and we all have to do our share. We all have our own rooms, and so it's our responsibility to maintain and keep up with our own room. And I still will go through and do my weekly mama check-in and go ahead and clean up the house, but I want everyone else to do their part as well. And so that'll be my focus. If you guys were wondering, after the August 2nd, my focus will be making sure that I am inspecting what I expect from my family. So that is a win in our household, is cleaning. What else? As far as self-care is concerned, my garden is looking amazing. I lost 2 rose bushes. I tried to, they were climbing rose bushes, and they needed to be trained to go on a trellis that I have. And I tried to train them and I lost them, both of them. They just went into shock, and I didn't think I could revive them. So I didn't get rid of them. I just cut them all down, and we're going to start over, and that's okay. It happens. But I am still enjoying redoing things and spending time in our garden, or in my garden. And I'm finding so much joy in my garden, and it brings me so much happiness. So after I school the kids, it feels so good to get to do that. Something else that feels really good is being able to be creative in the kitchen. I am creating meal plans because my family has to eat. So I'm creating meal plans that can work for our family, but I am also slowing down, and I am also figuring out the art in cooking. And one day I hope to be able to bring my kids in that area and incorporate that in science. But right now it's a me thing. It's something that I am enjoying, and I don't really have many things that I am kind of selfish about, because I share every part of my life with my family. But I am finding peace in the kitchen, and while I say yes to almost everything, I am saying no to the kitchen right now, because at this time in my life, I need to. I need to say no. I need to cherish those moments. And so I'm doing just that. And so that is what's going on, what has been going on in homeschool in the past couple of weeks. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. And until next time, I hope you guys take care and have a beautiful day. Bye, friends.